At the entrance of a restaurant in Wuhu City, China, an elderly woman was spotted collecting waste oil from a trash bin. Similarly, near Chaozong Street in Changsha, a man was seen doing the same thing, scooping waste oil from a trash bin. In Guangzhou, a woman was found collecting oil on a busy pedestrian street. Outside a restaurant in Guangdong, another man was caught collecting waste oil without concern for anyone near him. This waste oil, known as gutter oil, could easily make its way onto people's dining tables after processing. But would you dare to eat food cooked with such oil? Food safety issues in China are widely known, from toxic milk powder, poisonous rice, and tainted pork to gutter oil. The extent of toxic food scandals and the harm they cause is shocking, but what's been exposed is only the tip of the iceberg. In China today, it's hard to find truly safe food. Let's take a look at 10 of China's most dangerous food products, starting with gutter oil. As seen in the previous clips, gutter oil is collected from places like restaurants or street vendors. But have you ever considered that the stir-fried dishes you're enjoying could be cooked with gutter oil? Regular cooking oil costs around 9 yuan per kilogram. But to cut costs, some restaurants use gutter oil, which is only about 3 yuan per kilogram. Despite frequent expos, many still don't fully understand gutter oil. So, how is gutter oil made? Some unethical businesses retrieve oil waste from restaurant drains or the bottom of trash cans. Then they filter and settle this waste to purify the oil. Afterward, they heat it at high temperatures and remove any remaining impurities. Finally, they add coloring and fragrances to make the low-quality oil look and smell like regular cooking oil. Another source of gutter oil comes from factories that process expired or spoiled animal skins, meat, and organs. The fat extracted from these is sold as cooking oil. With a production cost as low as 30 cents per kilogram, it's sold to restaurants at 3 yuan per kilogram, passing off as legitimate cooking oil. Driven by huge profits, the gutter oil industry has spread rapidly throughout the food service sector. By 2010, experts in mainland China estimated that gutter oil accounted for more than 10% of the restaurant industry's oil supply, reaching street vendors and high-end restaurants alike. It's used to make a variety of foods, such as boxed lunches, fried chicken, and French fries. Unfortunately, consumers are unaware that the oil used to cook their food is toxic. Gutter oil contains harmful substances like microorganisms, lead, benzopyrene, and aflatoxins, some of which pose a cancer risk with long-term exposure. Aflatoxins, in particular, are 100 times more toxic than arsenic. Consuming gutter oil over time could damage the liver, impair the nervous system, or even lead to cancer. In the video, a man and a woman are seen collecting gutter oil outside a restaurant. The person who posted the video comments, "It's 4 a.m. and they're back again to collect gutter oil. They used to do it secretly, but now they're doing it openly, confidently, and without hesitation." See this? This is gutter oil. This is the oil you've been eating. A man is also shown collecting gutter oil, and the person who posted the video explains that this is the first and most crucial step in making gutter oil. In a third video, a factory is shown producing gutter oil in large quantities. The oil flows out of a pipe in shocking amounts. Toxic pork. Pork is one of the most common types of meat on our tables, but there's one type called slot-head pork or blood-throat pork, which refers to meat from the pig's throat. This part is considered the most toxic because it contains many lymph nodes, which act like filters in the body, trapping harmful substances. As a result, these areas accumulate large amounts of bacteria and toxins. Even worse, slot-head pork may carry dangerous pathogens like Streptococcus, erysipelas bacteria, and even swine fever virus, which pose significant health risks. Consuming this type of meat can lead to serious consequences, from food poisoning to life-threatening illnesses. There have been reports of people developing acute gastroenteritis and even severe neurological symptoms after eating slot-head pork. Since slot-head pork is cheap and has a good texture, some unscrupulous vendors secretly mix it with other pork to sell it for more profit. In one video, a man finds slot-head pork in a bun he purchased.
Look at these thick blood vessels in the bun. This is slot-head pork, the kind with lymph nodes.
On March 15th this year, Chinese state media exposed companies in Fuyang, Anhui province, that were using slot-head pork with lymph nodes and thyroid glands to produce pre-cooked pork dishes.
This is what it looks like. They're selling this as lean pork, but it's actually full of lymph nodes, which are not safe to eat.
Can you taste the thyroid gland?
No, you can't taste it.
When a reporter asked if consuming thyroid glands could harm the body, a person in charge responded, "I don't eat it." Additionally, borax-treated pork is also harmful to humans. To make pork appear fresher, some dishonest vendors add borax, which is highly toxic. If consumed in large amounts, borax can cause significant health problems, leading to acute poisoning. It can severely damage the digestive system, including vomiting and diarrhea. It may also irritate the skin, resulting in itching, redness, or rashes. The video shows vendors sprinkling borax on food. A blogger explains that pork with borax has a red surface but is grayish-white inside. It smells strongly of alkaline, and when you touch it, it feels slippery. Another blogger adds that borax-treated pork appears brighter in color and is more elastic than normal pork, but it poses significant harm to human health. Hair soy sauce. Soy sauce is a common seasoning, but some dishonest vendors have developed a hair soy sauce, which is made by soaking human hair and mixing it with chemicals to create soy sauce.
What are they doing with the hair? What are they making? They're making soy sauce. They're really making soy sauce? Yes, they're making soy sauce. Who would dare to eat it?
A soy sauce factory owner admits that some unscrupulous businesses indeed use hair to produce soy sauce. Hair can be converted into amino acid peptides, which is why some illegal businesses use peptide nitrogen solutions to mix into soy sauce. They do this to meet amino acid standards at a lower cost. However, genuine soy sauce like ours is naturally brewed in vats with non-GMO soybeans, salt, and water. It takes more than 360 days to ferment, making it a natural, healthy, and delicious old-fashioned salty soy sauce. Hair is rich in protein, which, when hydrolyzed, releases essential amino acids for soy sauce production. Industrial sodium hydroxide is used to process these amino acids, and then salt, brown sugar, thickeners, and flavoring are added to create what's known as hair soy sauce. Hair from barbershops cost only 1 yuan per kilogram. These are collected, sold to chemical factories, and then processed into cheap soy sauce in illegal workshops. The production cost of this soy sauce is only half of that of traditional soy sauce, yet it generates huge profits. What's worse is that the hair collected isn't always clean. Some may even contain medical waste. Workers simply dump these messy piles of hair into large vats to make hair-based soy sauce. Food safety experts have found that this type of soy sauce contains high levels of arsenic and lead. When arsenic is oxidized, it turns into arsenic trioxide, a common poison. The long-term consumption of the soy sauce can result in chronic arsenic poisoning, which damages the liver, kidneys, blood, and reproductive systems, and can even cause cancer. Toxic rice. Toxic rice refers to old, stored rice that has failed safety tests due to mold, pesticide residue, or excessive heavy metals. This rice is supposed to only be used for industrial purposes, but is sold as regular rice on the market. Don't buy these 3 types of rice. 1. Rice contaminated with aflatoxin, as just 1 sesame-sized piece of this toxin in a ton of rice can cause cancer. 2. Rice that has had artificial flavors added, as these chemical additives can seriously harm the liver. 3. Rice that has been treated with coloring agents, which should also be avoided. Toxic rice contains dangerously high levels of aflatoxins, the most potent carcinogen known to date, which can survive even at temperatures as high as 280 degrees Celsius. Unscrupulous merchants use industrial oils to process old rice, making it appear as shiny and clean as new rice. This rice is then sold in the market as premium rice. Consuming it can cause mild symptoms such as diarrhea and dizziness, and prolonged use may lead to cancer. In 2017, a company in Yiyang, Hunan Province, processed 1,444 tons of rice with excessive levels of cadmium, which was intended for animal feed, and sold it as edible rice to various provinces, including Guangzhou, Guangxi, Yunnan, and Hunan. The rice was used for noodles, rice powder, and household consumption. In 2020, authorities in Yunnan Province destroyed 99 tons of toxic rice from Hunan Province. The rice was found to be moldy, expired, and contaminated with heavy metals. How can you identify toxic rice? Moldy rice tends to be yellowish, rough, and brittle. Severely moldy rice turns brown or black and has a foul odor. Even after treatments such as peeling, bleaching, polishing, and adding mineral oil, the rice may still have an oily texture and a faint moldy smell. Toxic flour and buns. These buns appear very large and white. This often indicates the use of whitening agents and flavor enhancers, which makes the buns taste good but are harmful to health if consumed frequently. Whitening agents are strong carcinogens, with the primary component being benzoyl peroxide, an industrial oxidizing agent. Benzoyl peroxide breaks down in the liver, and long-term excessive consumption can damage liver function. In addition, some producers use sulfur to fumigate flour, making the dough rise more and resulting in sulfur buns that are whiter and fluffier after steaming. However, sulfur fumigation leaves sulfur dioxide in the flour, which can be harmful to the body when consumed in large amounts. This video shows fluffy, crispy pancakes that look delicious, but some dishonest vendors use gutter oil to make them, adding coloring and leavening agents. Consuming them regularly can harm your health. Some small factories also use gutter oil to fry instant noodles, which often contain acrylamide, commonly referred to as acrylic toxin. Long-term low-dose exposure to acrylamide can cause symptoms such as drowsiness, mood changes, hallucinations, tremors, peripheral neuropathy, sweating, and muscle weakness. Additionally, some instant noodle seasoning packets contain chemical preservatives like potassium sorbate, artificial colors, flavors, and even meat scraps or pork from dead pigs. These ingredients often harbor aflatoxins, mold, and large amounts of nitrite, which can accumulate in the body, leading to cancer and cell mutations. Toxic sausages. Rotten pork, especially from old sows or animals with lymph nodes, is used to make sausages. These sausages are processed with a red dye, sodium nitrite, cornstarch, and preservatives. The nitrite content in these sausages is extremely high. Sodium nitrite is primarily used as a color fixative and preservative, and consuming too much can cause harm to the body. This video shows chickens with feathers, pork with skin, and a sick pig being put into a machine to be ground into meat. This mixture is then turned into sausages. One viewer commented, "I bought a sausage, took 2 bites, and it had a strong duck feather taste. It was disgusting. After eating half, I threw it away, and within 30 minutes I had diarrhea and stomach pain." Another user said, "I've actually eaten chicken feathers in my sausage." Toxic pickled vegetables.
Add more chili powder, just a bit more. Sprinkle some more on top. It's not spicy enough. Add a bit more. This dish is called 5-spice pickled vegetables. 5-spice pickled vegetables.
The video shows workers using shovels to sprinkle chili oil on pickled vegetables in a small workshop. The vegetables are packed into woven bags while a man shouts orders nearby. It's shocking to see food that people eat being handled so carelessly. Low-quality pickled vegetables often smell foul and are filled with rat droppings and dog feces. To make these pickles look fresh and vibrant, vendors use toxic additives like sodium benzoate, aluminum potassium sulfate, yellow dye, and bleach. They also add chemicals not suitable for food to extend their shelf life. Long-term consumption of food containing excessive benzoic acid and sulfur dioxide can seriously harm the digestive tract, liver, and kidneys, and even cause cancer. Toxic noodles and rice noodles. Some toxic noodles are made with additives, industrial gelatin, and formaldehyde. After heating, these noodles release formaldehyde, a highly toxic carcinogen that can cause vomiting, stomach pain, and kidney damage. Authentic noodles made from grains are darker in color, have small lumps, and are very brittle when dried. In contrast, toxic noodles are lighter in color, smooth, shiny, and difficult to break even after cooking. In some street stalls, noodles that remain chewy after cooking may have had alum illegally added. There have been reports of people experiencing food poisoning after eating rice noodles, with symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, and convulsions. Lab results revealed high levels of alum in these noodles. Excessive alum intake can cause anemia, osteoporosis, and even premature brain degeneration or dementia. Rice noodles are typically made from mung beans, potatoes, and sweet potatoes, which have a high amylose content, allowing for good texture and elasticity without alum. However, some unscrupulous vendors use cheaper alternatives like other beans or cassava instead of sweet potatoes. They may also mix low-quality starch with high-quality starch, which tends to fall apart when cooked. To compensate, they add alum to maintain the noodle's texture. Some illegal vendors also use expired rice to make rice noodles. To whiten, preserve, and increase the elasticity of the rice noodles, they add oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is the common name for sodium formaldehyde sulfoxylate, a toxic chemical mainly used as a bleaching agent in the textile industry. Consuming rice noodles containing this substance can cause allergies, gastrointestinal irritation, food poisoning, and even cancer. Expired rice already contains strong carcinogens like aflatoxins, and the addition of oxalic acid makes it even more dangerous. This type of food is truly poison upon poison. Toxic cold noodles.
Why aren't these cold noodles as white as the others?
Those have bleach in them. They've added whitening agents.
Those have borax too.
Yes, they've used whitening agents.
Are these cold noodles made by us or purchased from elsewhere? The ones made at home are fine, but the ones bought from outside often contain borax. Today I spent 60 yuan to buy 2 portions, one from a supermarket and one from a small roadside shop. I'm going to test them. After cutting up the noodles and placing them in test containers, both samples were left for 10 minutes. When we opened the containers and used wet test strips to take samples, we found that both noodles had borax levels significantly above the limit. Borax, or sodium tetraborate, is added to food to increase elasticity and preserve it, but it's a harmful additive banned by food safety laws.
This blogger's test results show that the cold noodles contained excessive amounts of borax. Would you dare to eat these noodles? In the summer, cold noodles are a popular dish, but to make them more flavorful and cheaper, unethical workshops add chemicals and industrial salt. To give the noodles a chewier texture, they even add borax. Dichlorvos is an organophosphate pesticide commonly used for pest control in crops and household insect extermination. Inhaling or ingesting it can cause poisoning, leading to symptoms like tightness in the chest, muscle convulsions, and in severe cases, coma, incontinence, slowed pulse, and eventually death. Oral poisoning can result in death within 10 minutes in severe cases. Toxic bean sprouts. In the video, normal bean sprouts are described as having a fresh smell, well-developed roots, slim and straight stems, a shiny white color, and normal-sized beans. In contrast, toxic bean sprouts smell like urea, have short or no roots, thick stems, a grayish-white color, and bluish beans. Bean sprouts, a common household vegetable, are often subject to illegal additives or industrial chemicals to shorten their growth cycle and improve appearance. Known as toxic bean sprouts, these additives pose significant health risks. Common additives include urea, growth regulators, root inhibitors, and thickening agents, which are essentially hormones. Long-term consumption of these hormone-laden sprouts can lead to various diseases. Root inhibitors not only inhibit normal plant growth, but also cause deformities in the plants and damage essential nutrients like protein, vitamins, and minerals in the body. Over time, they can disrupt hormone balance. Root inhibitors are primarily used to prevent root growth, increasing yield by up to 30%. Another chemical, bleaching powder, also known as sodium dithionite, is used to make the sprouts look white and fresh. However, this chemical is typically used in industrial applications, such as bleaching silk and wool, and it has strong carcinogenic properties. It can irritate the eyes, respiratory tract, and skin, causing symptoms like headaches, nausea, and vomiting. Long-term consumption of sprouts containing these industrial chemicals can damage eyesight, liver, intestines, and stomach. China's food safety problems have persisted for many years, and there are multiple reasons behind it. Commentator Tang Jingyuan points out that the core issue is that many of these food producers are closely tied to bureaucratic institutions and authorities, creating a system that allows these illegal practices to thrive unchecked. From past cases of toxic rice and milk powder to the more recent contaminated intestines of ducks and geese, these scandals reflect a widespread moral decay. Tang also noted that since Deng Xiaoping's economic reforms in the 70s and the emphasis on profit during Jiang Zemin's time in the 90s, the basic ethical standards of every industry have been destroyed. This issue is now institutionalized and deeply rooted in the Chinese system.